Today I'm setting up a new notebook for all of my quilting projects, and I wanted to take you along, so stay with me and I'll show you how I do it. Well, hi everyone, I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And for the month of March, I have been celebrating National Crafting Month. I've been working in my crafting room, getting my supplies organized, lining up all of my projects, organizing my projects, and creating a new notebook in OneNote to store all of that information. So today, that's what we're going to do together. I have bits and bobs, pieces, and scraps everywhere scattered throughout OneNote, and I want to bring all of those things together into one new notebook for my quilting stuff. Now, you may say to me, I'm not a quilter, I don't need this, but guess what? I'm sure there is something that you do as a hobby that would be a good thing for you to get organized. Maybe you're a potter and you've got a list of glazes that you use and clays and different patterns and retreats that you want to go to and all of that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of uses for this information that I'm presenting today. So I hope you'll stay with me. If you like it or if you learn something new, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Turn your notifications all the way on so that you don't miss a future video. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. If you can't tell, I'm very excited about setting up this new notebook. What you see here on my screen this is my personal notebook that I started a long time ago, 2012, 2013, something like that. It's been a long time. The very first time OneNote came out, I started using it. I think I gravitated to it because as a retired teacher, I am very much, in line with that notebook standard of, divider pages and pages within your sections of your notebook and all that. It just really appealed to me when it first came out, and I have been using it ever since. I love, 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 love OneNote, okay? But my personal notebook, you can see all across the top here, I have stickers in here and budget items, calendar things, car information, my church, my home information, my craft ideas, emergency information, family history, garden stuff, Girl Scouts. I haven't been a Girl Scout leader for almost 10 years now, but I still have Girl Scout information in there because you never know, you might need it. Anyway, so I have a section for different goals, happy planner stuff, different logging information, things for my husband, things for my daughter, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, you can see I store a lot of things in here. Okay, when a section gets pretty full, like you can see if you look over here on my pages, this is my project idea section. It starts all the way from this Halloween favors page, which is just 2 PDFs, all the way down to the Heart of America, which is a new quilt pattern that I just stored in here the other day, okay, which I thought was really, really pretty, okay. So, but when it gets more than, one screen full of pages here, I tend to think it's time for a new notebook. And I've been putting it off and putting it off. Well, that's what I want to do today, okay. So I know that I've shown you how to create new notebooks in the past. So this video is going to be kind of a review of those kinds of things, but I also want to show you some ways to organize things. So I hope you'll stay with me today, okay? I really need to get this project done, and I thought lots of you might just like to see the process, so I'm going to take you along for the project of the day. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go up here where it says personal notebook, and I am going to go down here, let's see, to add a notebook. I'm going to click add a notebook. It's going to come up and say, where do you want to store that? I store all of my notebooks on OneDrive so that I can have access to them on my iPad, and I can also have access to them on my cell phone so that if I'm out and about and I need some information, how, what was that quilt pattern I was going to use? How much yardage do I need? Oh my gosh, I found this really cute red, white, and blue. How much do I need to make that Old Glory quilt? That kind of thing. And so it's very handy to be able to keep that kind of information on my phone as well. All right. So I'm going to store that on my personal OneDrive, and I am going to call this my quilting notebook. Okay. And I'm going to say create notebook. When I say create notebook, it's going to ask me if I want to share it with anybody. And normally I share my notebooks with my husband and my daughter, and you can do that by sending them an email. And right here it's asking, would you like to share that with other people? I could go in here and invite those people through their email address, but for privacy reasons, I'm going to say not now. I will share this notebook with them later if I need to, okay? So now I have my quilting notebook. It's that easy. It's as if I went to Walmart and I bought a new 3-ring binder and I wrote quilting on the top of it, and there it is. Now I'm going to put my dividers in there. So this first section here, this is going to be my dashboard section, I think. So I'm going to go up here and click where it says New Section, and I'm going to go down here to rename, and I'm going to call this my dashboard section, okay? This is going to be like an index for me, all right, where I can keep track of everything that is in this notebook, okay? All right. Now, I know that I need other sections, so I'm just brainstorming here off of the top of my head. I know I need quilt patterns that will be stored in here. I know that I will need quilt projects. Okay. I know that I will need reference information. So reference items there. What else might I need? Fabric. If I ever decide that I'm going to do an inventory of all of my fabric, I'll put a fabric section. That could be dangerous. I'm laughing because I have way too much fabric. I inherited some fabric from a friend of mine when she moved, and I inherited some fabric from another friend of mine when she stopped quilting because of a vision problem. And so I have lots and lots of fabric from some dear friends, and I really don't want to get rid of it because I'm excited to either make some of those projects or to use that fabric, and I will think about them each time that I do. Okay? All right. So now that I have a few sections set up, I can, for those of you who are new to OneNote, I can always move these sections. Like let's say I want to put my projects before my patterns, okay? I can do that simply by grabbing that and moving it forward. Let's say I want to put the reference information right up behind my dashboard. So I can take that reference section, see that little black arrow that's up there? And I can move that, and as I move that, it will move that whole section. It's as if in that 3-ring binder, you were opening those rings, physically taking those pages out, moving them forward in your notebook, and putting them back in the rings, okay? All right, so you can move them at any time. You can also change the colors of the tabs if you do not like them. These other ones are fine, but I'm really not thrilled about the brown, so I'm going to go down here, click on the tab, and then right click and go down to section color, and I can choose whatever color I would like for that, okay? So I'm going to keep these kind of cool colors, all right? Okay, now where's the information from these sections going to come? Well, remember that big personal section that I showed you where I had all of that information? Okay, if I want to, I can go through here and I can take each page and figure out, just like if I had a physical piece of paper, right? A physical piece of paper, and I said, oh, what section does this go in my notebook? Open it, turn to that section, open the rings, lay the paper in there, close the rings, you know, and put that piece of paper away. I can do the same thing for each of these pages, okay? First of all, I'd like to name this page. I put it in here so quick I didn't even give it a name the other day. So this is Old Glory. And this is a sew-along that is happening for February and March of 2023. I think it's beautiful. You don't have to use this particular line of fabrics if you don't want to. Maybe you have some scraps that you want. But usually when somebody does a quilt along like this, they give you lots of great information. So they'll tell you that this is the right size for a Quilts of Valor. Quilts of Valor are quilts that folks like me make for veterans, and they are usually a certain size so that they work well either as a lap quilt, you know, if someone's in a wheelchair, something like that. They're not huge because you want the person to be able to keep it with them on the couch or something like that, okay? And it tells you that this pattern is fat eighth friendly. So as a quilter, you know what size or pieces of fabric that you need to have there. And then also I was able to include the link here for the quilt along. So if I click on that, it will take me right to that page with all of the information that I need, okay? All right, so Old Glory Quilt Along is the title of this page, okay? And if I want to move this page, I can simply right click on it. I can go to move or copy, and I can then get this dialog box. Let me get it on the right screen for you. This dialog box comes up and says, where would you like to move this to? Okay, and I can then go down. I don't want to leave it in my personal notebook. I want to put it in my quilting notebook. So I can click on my quilting notebook and it will come up and it will show me all of these different sections that we just created together, okay? And I can say I want to put this in my quilt patterns and I don't want to make a copy of it. I want to move it. So it will no longer be in my personal notebook. It will now live in my quilting notebook, okay? So I'm going to say move. And when I do, you see it will disappear. And then if I go back and look at my quilting notebook, and I look at quilting projects, quilting patterns, there is the Old Glory Quilt Along, okay? So it's now in its new home, out of the old notebook into the new notebook, all right? Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to go through and do that for a lot of the pages that I have in that personal notebook section. Now remember, this is craft ideas, and as you saw at the beginning, those Halloween favors, those are not quilt projects. They are favors that you would do as a takeaway for a Halloween party. So I'm not going to take those to my quilting notebook. I will leave them here in craft ideas, okay? Let's see, sleeper of a bag. This is also cool. They make a tote bag out of a pillowcase, okay? But that's not a quilting thing, so that's not going to go, all right? But what I did want to show you is if you have a number of things that you want to move at one time, you can, okay? So for example, if you look over here in my pages section, I have a section that starts with Master Quilt Planner, and then there's a quilt planner and a different quilt plan and a quilting reference sheet and a beginning sewer project, and then Megan's Baby Quilt, and then In Full Bloom, which was another quilt pattern. So let me show you some of these. So this was Megan's Baby Quilt and how I kind of sketched it out. This was In Full Bloom. So there's a picture of the quilt there. This is Chris's graduation quilt. This is Sarah's graduation quilt. So you see I have all of these things. What I can do is I can click the first one, okay? And then I can come all the way down to the bottom, hold down my shift key and select all of those at one time, okay? And those are all quilt projects that I have done. And I can right click and I can say move. And again, it's going to say, where do I want to move it to? Not to my personal notebook. So I'm going to close that. I'll go down here to my quilting notebook, and we will dump all of those into projects, okay? And I will say move, and you'll see they all disappear from here. And when I go back and look at my quilting notebook, if I can get my cursor to work right today, and I go to quilt projects, there they all are. So there's my planner, there's Megan's baby quilt, there's the In Full Bloom quilt, all the way down. There's Sarah's quilt where she was picking colors, and then you see a picture of the quilt inspiration right there. All right. Okay. So that really is all there is to it. All I need to do is go down through here, and I can take a look at, you know, all of these things that I have saved in here. So this might be a great quilt pattern for me to use for the Hawaiian fabric that I collected when we were traveling in Hawaii. They kind of look like photographs or postcards. And when I was collecting those scraps of Hawaiian fabric when I was in Hawaii many years ago, my thought was I wanted to do a postcards from Hawaii. And I found this quilt picture, and I thought, you know what? The shadow box quilt might be a good thing to do for that. So this page will go to the quilt patterns page, okay? So that if I'm looking for a different pattern to use, I'll know where to look. So let's do that, and let's put it in patterns. I could create an inspiration section if I wanted to. You know, I could do lots of different things, but when I am looking for, you know, patterns or ideas, I tend to look in the pattern section. Even if I don't have the physical pattern there, I have the link to a pattern, or I at least know to look up the, you know, shadow box pattern, I can do that. All right. Here's a Play-Doh recipe. That's not going in my quilting notebook, okay? But this one I thought was very cute. You Gnome, I Love You. It's from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it is all of these really cute gnomes. But all of the gnomes are holding little hearts, you know. Anyway, I thought it was cute. And, you know, it kind of gives you an idea here of what you need. And just that little visual reminder for me, because I am a very visual person, it's just perfect, okay? So again, that one will go to quilt patterns. So we're going to move it. And we'll close that. And this is the kind of thing that I like to do, you know, late in the evening when I'm tired and, you know, I just want to be productive, but, you know, not really all that productive, if you get what I'm saying. And I just like to sit and go through and, okay, I'll move this, I'll move this, I'll move this, you know, and organize things that way. It's like I used to keep old tear sheets, you know, when you would tear pages out of a magazine. And store them in a binder. I have binders and binders upstairs in my office of activities to do with kids, learning activities and that kind of thing. And I thought, you know, that, and I used to do that in the evenings as well. That was just very relaxing for me. This is the same kind of thing, only it's in digital format. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about OneNote is I like the fact that you can search things so quickly. So I know I have some information out there about color, the color wheel. So if I go up here and I type color, you start to see all of the times that the word color appears on the title of a page. So Sarah's Quilt Color, color hex codes, that's for my different stickers and stuff, fall color palettes, brand colors for Crystal Clear Life, paint colors, how do I change colors, color blocks, different paint colors, and if you click on them, you can see, so there's some, you know, some colors that look nice with maple cabinets, which I have maple cabinets in the back. Color blocks is something that I was creating. So you can just kind of search through and see all of the different paint colors. Again, apparently I'm liking green these days. brand colors for myself, fall color palette. So you can kind of see all of those things, but color wheel theory is down here, and this is actually the page that I was looking for. This search feature up here, it doesn't matter what notebook the page is in, it will find it, and I just think that that is one of the best things. I can't do that with my physical notebooks upstairs of my school stuff. I can't go up to the cabinet and type in, you know, tap in on the type of the cabinet that, you know, I want all the bunny activities and have it show me all the bunny activities. It doesn't work that way. But in OneNote, you can do that. And so, for example, here with colors, I just think that is absolutely great. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be spending the rest of this evening going through and setting up my quilting notebook, copying all of those pages forward. But the one last page that I did want to bring forward for you is that dashboard page. We made this dashboard page together in the last couple of videos, which I will leave linked above. And the quilting dashboard looks like this, and I think it's really great. So I'm going to take this page and I'm going to move it to my quilting notebook. And I want to put it in my dashboard section, and I'm going to move that. Okay. And now you saw in those previous videos that the links were working. And now that we have moved it here into our quilting notebook, do you think those links are going to work anymore? I don't know. Let's see. Can it find color wheel theory? Yep. But Crystal, you moved those pages. I know. Yep. I'm telling you, OneNote's amazing. Here's my Quilt Planner Master. Yep. OneNote is absolutely amazing. So I think that having this dashboard is going to be very helpful to me. All of the things that are on this dashboard, I want to move into this particular notebook. So again, I'm going to be going through for the rest of the evening and just, you know, moving them around, organizing them the way that I want. You may see the next time that you see this notebook that there are different tabs or different sections up here at the top. Yep, notebooks are a work in progress for me. And hopefully you've gotten some inspiration today into creating a new notebook for yourself. And again, remember, these notebooks are fun to share with people. I may share this notebook with my quilting friend who's just moved up to Maine. She's been wanting to, you know, start doing some things in OneNote, but wasn't sure where to get started. So, you know, and since she is the one that gifted me some of these projects, it might be fun for her to kind of see how I'm keeping track of them and finishing them up as well. Okay? All right. Well, enough of me rambling on about quilting. Please leave me a comment if you have a hobby that you would like to start organizing information from. Leave me a question if you have a question for me. Leave me a crafting or cat emoji if you can't think of anything to say. I love to see those as well. I think that's fun. Remember to give me a like. It really does help out my channel. My goal for the month of March is to get up to 4,000 subscribers. I am almost there, so every new subscription would be helpful. I would appreciate that. And until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more organized and simplified life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye. Happy crafting month.